Guys, we have some crazy transits coming up. I have so much to cover, it's insane. We already have Neptune in Aries, right? That's just moving through. Neptune takes forever to transit through a sign, but we're going to have Saturn joining Neptune on May 24th. So it's only going to be in there for a little bit because it's going to go back into Pisces, I think around the fall. And then it'll end the Pisces Saturn. I think it's going to be around February 2026. I'm really looking forward to that because I want Saturn to get the fuck out of my 8th house. Okay? It's not fun. Whenever you have Saturn transiting through your 8th, it just feels like so restricting and so like, ugh. Yeah. Very cold and restrictive. But you do learn a lot of things, though. It teaches discipline, that's for sure. That's what Saturn's known for, right? Then we have Mars that's going to re-enter into Leo on the 18th of April. So we've had that Mars retrograde cycle between Leo and Cancer for about 6 months, which was horrendous because Mars does not like being in Cancer. You know, Cancer, you kind of imagine it's like the feminine, soft, mommy vibes, right? And you put Mars in there, which is all this warring energy, and it's just super uncomfortable. I would say it, like, visually, I think about Godzilla mom. You know that one meme where it's like Godzilla's dressed up in an apron. It's supposed to represent like a mom when she gets mad. That's kind of how I view it. So it'd be good to come out of Cancer, but you still have to be mindful of the influence of Mars, especially when it's in Leo. Whatever part of your chart has Leo in it, you're going to get the good and the bad of Mars, which is basically, well, at least it's in a fire sign, so it's not as uncomfortable, but it's going to bring more of that fiery, like, you know, even though you're going to have that drive, you're going to be determined, you're also going to be very hot-headed. Maybe you could get those types of energies going, and then more scuffles with others, possibly. But that will, let's see, when will Mars go out of Leo? Okay, it'll go out of Leo and enter Virgo in June 17th. Then Venus will conjunct the North Node in Pisces at 25 degrees on the 20th of April. Oh, wow, 25 degrees. My natal North Node is at 24 degrees. So that aspect could bring about some faded conversations, faded decisions, faded meetings even, or just some kind of like healing that happens. It's a nice aspect. It's not a bad one, depending on your chart, of course, but you know, Venus is exalted in Pisces, so can't be too bad. Venus will conjunct Saturn in Pisces, though, on the 24th of April at 27 degrees. So that's not necessarily a fun aspect. It's like restricting. Saturn doesn't like being in Pisces because Saturn is like Capricorn, you know, goal-oriented, earthy. Pisces is dreamy, not really grounded. And so you put Saturn in there, it's just uncomfortable. Just like how Jupiter doesn't like being in Gemini because Gemini is like mercurial, already has a whole bunch of stuff like fast motion and thoughts and stuff going in its head. And so many different things at once just going off and so many different ideas. Then you put Jupiter there. And once you put Jupiter there, which is ruled by Sagittarius, Sagittarius is opposing Gemini on the wheel. So even though they're opposites, they're basically like two sides of the same coin. But still, Jupiter going into Gemini, it just makes Gemini even more crazy. And I can vouch for that because my moon is in Gemini. And ever since Jupiter went to Gemini last year, I feel like I've gone batshit crazy, honestly. At least maybe it's even, I don't know, perhaps it's been something that's noticeable. I feel like I've been going crazy. Anywho, we have the Mars and Leo opposition with Pluto and Aquarius on the 26th of April. So, Mars and Pluto having a showdown. The last time this happened was in the beginning of the year, and there were quite a few violent things that happened in the beginning of the year. New Orleans, that whole incident, fires and people just being crazy. That's very much a Mars and Pluto opposition type of vibe. So just kind of be careful around those times, around the end of April. Just be cautious about your whereabouts. New moon in Taurus happening on the 27th, of course, and I will make a video kind of going over that at some point. Then Venus will re-enter Aries on the 30th. Pluto is going to be going retrograde in Aquarius on May 4th, and Pluto has gotten up to like almost 4 degrees into Aquarius so far. So it's going to go into a retrograde motion on the 4th of May. What that could bring, like theme-wise, it's similar to other retrogrades, right? Like Mercury or Venus, it's going to bring some past situations back to be revisited. Bigger things, though, since it's regarding Pluto, subjects that are big cycles, considering that are regarding big cycles in your life and how you can restructure them or make changes. You will notice patterns more that stick out within certain areas of your life and can choose to make changes or not during those times. And the big one that I'm kind of dreading, to be honest, is when Uranus goes into Gemini. And I believe that's going to be in July. I think that's going to be in July sometime. Yeah, it's not on my page here. The reason why I say that is because my moon in Gemini is at 2 degrees. 2 degrees. So it's in the very beginning of Gemini. It's actually it's kind of close to the cusp. Oh yeah, that's right. That video I made of like the deacons and stuff. Remember the Taurus Gemini cusp? I think it was called, what was the name of that deacon? Energy. Oh my God. Energy was the name of that deacon. And that's where my moon is. Okay? And you put Uranus there, God knows what can happen. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit terrified. Trying to keep my cool on it and not, freak out too much about it, but I'm a little nervous. But the good thing is that Jupiter will enter Cancer on June 9th. So Jupiter is exalted. And so Jupiter will go out of Gemini, right? And it'll enter into Cancer before Uranus goes into Gemini. But Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So it brings like a very spiritual, ethereal vibe. And I'll go over like where Cancer is in your guys' charts according to the rising signs to see like what it can bring for you guys. But For me, it's going to be in my 12th house because I'm a Leo rising. So it'll be in the house of my subconscious. So there's going to be a lot of spiritual themes that happen, I believe, within my life around the duration that Jupiter's in Cancer. So, yeah, but a lot of big stuff coming up. I just kind of want to give you guys a heads up that I will be making some videos on this stuff. And there's a lot of shifts and changes happening, like energetically, and just so many changes in my life, so many changes in, I think, everyone's life in general. Like we're literally shifting timelines. It's insane. Anywho, hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Peace out.